Capricorn. Sometimes you're damned if you do, sometimes you're damned if you don't. And I think that's a strange theme to talk about this month, but August 2013, your astrological synopsis seems to be focused on that 7th house of your horoscope. You've got two very hard aspects, or three actually, from Uranus to Mars, Jupiter and Mercury, along with a very favourable aspect from your ruling planet, Saturn, to these three planets. So when I say you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, sometimes it's the choice, the better choice of two evils that is necessary for you. And that's what I'm seeing right now in terms of your relationships. Now, let me qualify that. This is not necessarily only a personal relationship, a romantic relationship. This could actually have to do with business partnerships. People that you're constantly associating with, where you need to do something, but if you do that, you realise it's going to have some very terrible ramifications elsewhere. So you need to weigh up the pros and cons this month. And that's going to become very, very focused when the moon comes to the transit of that 7th sector, moon being the ruler of that sector, around the, let me have a look here, around the 3rd, 4th, 5th. And then the 6th, it moves into the 8th sector, which is a sector showing a complete renewal of things. So the first few days of the month, I think you need to really reappraise how you're dealing with people and to look carefully at the fallout from some of your actions, some of your words, and believe it or not, even some of your thoughts, because people pay very little attention to the impact that their thoughts have on the world around them. And in fact, everything around us, if you analyse it carefully, has its beginnings in the way we think. Everything. The camera that I'm talking into didn't exist 300 years ago. That only began with a thought. So don't underestimate the power of your thought this month. Well, any time for that matter, but this month I think it's going to bring that into a strong focus around those dates that I've mentioned, Capricorn. And you are a practical person, and sometimes these subtle, spiritual, esoteric concepts may elude you. I don't think it's beyond you, but I think right now I'm reminding you that that's something that you could just give a little bit of attention to and connect the dots to see just how that's working for you in your life and with the people that you're relating to. The 8th house, that's finances. It's got to do with the bank, maybe a visit to your bank manager for some of you at that time. We see that happening around the 6th and the 7th of August. The moon then moves to the 9th house on the 8th, and then there's a conjunction of Mercury as well in that 8th sector. The 8th sector being the shared resources, the bank manager. So there's some legal issues there. Maybe this is more of a bureaucratic issue, you know, the renewal of some licenses, that type of thing. More niggling sorts of things, I would say, rather than anything of major consequence for most of you. The other important transit, one of your best planets, is the transit of Venus to your 10th house of career. This is a lovely transit, and it gives you the opportunity to not just achieve a lot in work, Capricorn, but I think at this time you'll start to see that there's some value in just actually being happy and bringing some creative energy to the work that you're doing. If the work has been humdrum or fairly routine and unexciting, you've got the opportunity now to change that a little bit. And it doesn't mean that you're going to detract from your work or not meet your deadlines. It just means you're going to cross the finishing line with a big smile on your face. And I think that makes a big difference to the way we live our lives, that, you know, you have to have some joy and enthusiasm as part of the process. And believe it or not, again, coming back to the theme of the way we think, that thinking process, that emotional process, the actual feelings we have towards what we do, has a marked impact on the outcome of those things that happen to us in our lives. So these are all the themes that are coming through with all of these transits this month for you. A couple of the final transits I'd like to talk about: Mercury moving to the 9th house. Thoughts of education, an opportunity to improve your skill sets occur at this time, and that's on the 24th of August. And Mars, believe it or not, going back into that 8th house around the 28th. And Mars is important for you because it is actually the planet that rules the 11th house of your horoscope, profitability. There you may have to spend some of your profits just when you thought you were able to build up your bank balance. I know Capricorn hates it when they don't have that strong, enduring sense of security. But rest assured, with the counteractive position of Venus in the 10th house, you're going to get that back fairly quickly. So don't cry any tears over money that has to be spent, especially if it's in a way that's going to increase and enhance your business, expand your territorial claims, and so look at it in a positive way. Again, final note, same theme. It's the way you look at things this month, the way you feel about them, that's going to determine the positive or negative outcome. Thanks for joining me, Capricorn. Look forward to your company next month. Join me at astrology.com.au for a more involved and extensive insight into what's happening to you just now. Take care. Bye-bye.